So it is the Masque of the Red Dead. For a long time, the Red Dead has devastated the country. There had never been such a mortal plague. The symptoms of this plague were some and the horse blood in a very abundant way. All this happened just half an hour from the first symptom to the last, to the death. But the Prince Prospero, who were happy and brave, one day he decided to call all his friends, who were 1,000 ladies and gentlemen of his court. He, with his power, he built a huge wall castle that protect them from the plague that were outside. So inside they had everything, all the provision that he needed in order to be safe and sound. And when all his friends were inside the castle, he ordered them to shutter the walls so that nobody could enter or leave. So in the 5th or 6th month inside the castle, the Prince Prospero decided to have a mask party, which was celebrated in the 7 rooms of the castle, all decorated with a different color. The first one was blue, the second one was purple, the third one was green, the fourth one was orange, the fifth one was white, the sixth one was violet, and the last one was dark. With the only difference that in this one, the windows had a different color from the rest of the room. It had a red color. And also in this same room, there was a huge heavenly clock that was leaning against the wall. And at the end of an hour, it produces some sounds that was powerful, deep, and very musical, that even the musician stopped playing in order to hear that sound. The crowd felt a shiver when they heard that sound, those echoes produced by the clock. But when the sound disappeared, they looked at each other, saying that next time they wouldn't feel the same impression. So the party continued with magnificence and joy. So when midnight arrived, the clock sounded 12 times. But before the last echo was released, they had noticed a present that at the beginning it hadn't attracted its attention. But then when the murmur watered, it caused a disapproval and impression, but then terror, due to the fact that the masked figure had passed the limit allowed by the Prince Prospero. So it was when the Prince Prospero noticed the mask. At first, he felt afraid and disgusted, but then his face turned with anger. "Who dares?" the Prince Prospero said. "Who dares to insult us with that blasphemy?" He said to the crowd, "Remove the mask so we know who are we going to hang when the sun rises." When pronouncing this word, the Prince Prospero was in the room blue, and those words resounded so strong through the 7th room. The Prince Prospero walked with his friend, and at the beginning it was a close approach of them to the figure, but nobody did anything due to the fear that they had. So the prince, angry with his friend, because nobody did anything, he took his knife and he launched through the rooms until the figure was. And this figure, having reached the black room, turned around and confronted his persecutor, who was the Prince Prospero. And at that moment, it was a scream. And his dagger fell in the black carpet. And immediately, the Prince Prospero fell down dead. So it was when the friend of the Prince Prospero entered to the room in order to know what happened. And with the courage that they had, they grabbed the figure, the mask figure, and when they removed the mask, they produced a scream because they had noted that under the mask figure nobody was there. So it was in that moment when they recognized that they were in the presence of the Red Death. So one by one, the friends of the Prince Prospero were falling into the room that now were stained with blood. So the life of the Ebony Clock went out with the fall of the last survivor. And the darkness and the Red Death took over that place. Thank you very much.